Hey guys, I'm going to be telling you something a little different today. Last night, I had the opportunity to step in and help save someone's life. Now, this isn't to toot my own horn or brag or try to say anything else here. I'm sharing this with you because to me it's an important lesson on why it's beneficial to be prepared and to pay attention and how important sometimes these smaller items really can be. So last night I was on my way home from a friend's. They live about 20 miles outside of the city I live in. And so doing that, there is some 2-lane and 4-lane highway that you have to traverse to get there. I was going down some 4-lane highway and I see a vehicle in the ditch. There's 3 cars in front of me traveling on the highway. I can see their taillights, not a single one even slowed down. I see the vehicle in the ditch because I'm paying attention to what's going on. I pull over on the side of the road. There happens to be 1 car still behind me. Luckily, the guy that got out of that car behind me and pulled over about the same time was a nurse. And we started looking around at this crash site and realized this was something that literally just happened probably a minute and a half before we got there. Like we just barely missed this accident and there's no driver in the car. So the first thing we started doing was looking around. Why was I able to start looking around in the dark in the middle of a highway out in the country? Because I had a flashlight. Because I had that actual tool. Not the puny little flashlight on your phone, but I had an actual good quality flashlight sitting in my truck next to my seat. So I grabbed that, we looked around, we were able to find a gentleman that had been ejected from the vehicle probably about 30 yards or so from where the vehicle came to rest. Luckily he was still breathing, he's unconscious though. The nurse that was with us was able to start doing life stabilizing care, for lack of a better words, until EMS was able to show up, which it took about 5-6 minutes for EMS to get there where we were at. We were pretty fortunate. And throughout this incident, one of the first things we again needed was a medical kit. I was able to grab that trauma kit from the back of my truck that we've talked about before, that red bag with the trauma stuff in it, and we were able to use those shears to cut off what we needed to ensure that there wasn't any sort of major bleeding that wasn't visible. So the nurse was able to do that using that equipment. And during the meantime, the nurse also brought up to me that had I not been paying attention, he hadn't seen my vehicle stopped, he would not have stopped, which means potentially had I not stopped, he would have went going through and that guy would have been laying there in the ditch for who knows how long. So paying attention, one of the things that you preach here is situational awareness, but that pulled me over and that brought him into it, and he wouldn't have been there had I not had that situational awareness. We would not have had the equipment to start checking that individual for potentially unseen injuries had I not had that trauma kit in the back of my bag. And moving forward from this, the nurse's spouse got out of the car and observed the fact that there looked like there was a second person in the vehicle. So what I was able to do from my vehicle is retrieve my hats, my gloves, had my flashlight already, and I was actually able to throw a reflective vest on, because carrying a reflective vest in your vehicle is a very handy thing to have, especially if you end up on the side of a highway at, midnight looking for potentially a body laying in a ditch or somewhere along this highway, and was able to start traversing up and down the highway for a couple hundred yards from where this vehicle started to roll looking. Luckily, I was not able to find another body because there did not appear to be another person in the vehicle. But, this is something that I again, a little bit different topic, but I wanted to bring up because it's just important to understand that prepping equipment you have, it's not always for the apocalypse. It can be situations like this. You may just happen to run up on a car accident and be in a somewhat desolate area, and you have to be the first one to render aid and start doing that. Had I not, for example, had a good quality flashlight, I would not have been able to search. And had there happened to have been a second person out there, which we were very concerned there was, they may have been missed. The fact that at least I had the confidence to sit here with the proper tools that I had with me and look around and say, hey, I can tell there's not a second person here because I examined this area. I had the actual light to go through this. I was dressed properly for the weather too. I'm wearing proper boots for these cold climates I'm in right now. And for the snow, I'm wearing a proper jacket, hat. Allowed me also to be actually out there comfortable working in these environments, not freezing my butt off, not distracted by the cold to a point where I could have missed something important. And that's, again, I don't want to repeat myself here, but that's just why I'm sharing this with you. This isn't scripted. I didn't have an outline when I jumped in to make this video. I just wanted to share this raw experience with you. I want to give you that impact of this was a real life scenario. This isn't the first time I've been in an event like this where I've had to in a more desolate area, be the first one on scene to a major accident. This isn't the first time I've dealt with, these type of experiences, but it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that, had I not had that stuff, it could have been worse, Had I not been paying attention, I may have drove right past that wreck. That car behind me that only stopped because they said they saw me stop would have driven past that wreck. And with the temperatures out there, that guy may have laid in the field and died. So that's where situational awareness and observation comes in. And again, that applies in a multitude of situations outside of, a true SHTF situation versus just a catastrophic incident like that can happen. But, it's just a good reminder. It's just something I want to throw out there today. That's why I'm recording this video, is just think about those incidents. Think about the fact that you may not be necessarily always preparing because we're going to run out of food, or because there's going to be a, Category 5 hurricane that comes through your town, or, a 9.9 earthquake on the Richter scale over here. The scenarios you're preparing for and you want those equipment for sometimes need to be stuff like this. They need to be that car accident. They need to be, somebody fell off the top of an extension ladder and broke a leg, and, you might not have a rescue squad 5 minutes down the road. You might not have been as fortunate I was, and this gentleman was, to have medical that close. You could be significant amount of time, or depending on the weather conditions, it may be something where it may be unreachable for several hours or even days. So that's some of the things you need to think about preparing for as well. Again, I know I rambled a little bit here. I appreciate you guys sticking with me and just kind of listening to me here. And, if you have questions about it, drop it down in the comments below. If you have thoughts or you have your own experiences like this on how you being prepared actually helped, or had a major play into a situation like that you've encountered, let us know. We'd love to hear those experiences, because it's important that people understand that can happen, and that we can see what's helped people succeed or even fail in those instances. So definitely share. And if you're interested, hit that like and subscribe button. We always love to have new people around the channel. We always love to have input. But I'm going to leave it off at this today. Stay safe, stay prepared, and thanks for watching.